Wow, we're live. There we go. Wow, we're live.
Yeah, well, we're live. See what you did there.
See that? I've moved my background a little bit there.
Yeah.
As we come on. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Wow Ergonomics. I've come back from, and we'll talk about this in a minute. Come back from an OT show with customary bag full of stuff.
Anything? Is it edible, Graham, or?
There was edible stuff.
Okay.
That is now downstairs with the kids.
Okay.
As you do. There were lots of people, lots and lots. Actually, let's just talk about this for a minute. That's quite interesting. Considering it was an occupational therapy show, all the stands were handing out chocolates or sweets. Now, not being funny.
Yeah.
Surely people should be promoting healthy snacks. You know, maybe we should have seen a little bit more of the old dried seaweed, or I don't know,
fruit, grapes, fruit, that sort of stuff. Yeah, that sort
of malarkey.
Yeah. I don't think people want to see that though, Graham, at a show. To be fair, do they?
No one wants to see.
Let's be honest.
There we go. So we're going to talk about that in a very short while. But first, it's that time again when we get to play Guess the Ergonomic Product, and to help us today with this wonderful game, which is the only reason that people tune in. It really is.
Are you saying people drop off after this game? Should we not put this game at the end and to keep the audience with us?
You know what? Maybe in the future that's what we should do. We should actually put this in at the end. But to help us today with that, we have the wonderful Amy Burnett, who's come in last minute for us. You know what? Maybe in the future. Oh, Amy, can you mute the LinkedIn that you've got going?
I can hear. I've got two things open here. Hang on. There we go. That's better.
That's it. Don't watch us live at the same time as being on air. It doesn't work. It really doesn't.
Doesn't work. No.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi, Amy.
Hi. I'm really well, thank you. How are you? Good.
Yeah, thanks for agreeing to come and do this at last minute. I'm as you can see, with my neurodiversity, I'm a complete nightmare. Anyway, so Amy, just tell us a little bit about you. What do you do?
So my company Visible Impact is all about getting people seen and heard using the power of video. So working with businesses, all size businesses, to create video content, whether it be for websites, social media, whatever. Yeah. With the core of my business being with female-led companies. It's not that I don't work with men, but I've just got quite a passion to increase the amount of female leaders that we have in the corporate space and the business world. So yeah.
That'd be very good. Do you find a lot of people just very nervous about doing video?
They absolutely are. Yes, I would say it's one of the key factors in people never quite getting round to doing video. You know, it seems to be constantly moving down the list of priorities. You know, people's to-do list. It gets pushed to the bottom constantly, and I think that fear of the camera is a big one there. Yeah, definitely.
Do you think some people start asking that at question time at interview? Are you any good at video stuff? Because I don't want to do it. You want to do it, Jim? No, I don't want to do it. Okay, yeah. Are you okay in front of a camera? I'm sure some companies are like that, but actually, trying to get somebody in to talk about your business, or even hiring an actor to come in and talk about your business, isn't quite the same thing, is it?
No, definitely not. No, I think
because if you've got if it's you that's got the passion for what that business is about, and it's you that's started that business and has pushed that business on, then it needs to come from you to talk about that business.
It absolutely does, and the key word there is the passion, and there's the buzzword, well, one of the buzzwords at the moment, authenticity. It's really it really does make a difference. People get the chance to connect ultimately. If it's your business, you're the sort of the key part of that brand, and you're what people, you know, all the values and everything from that brand has come from you. And so people will get a chance to connect really, really deeply to that brand if they get a chance to see you or hear you and see you talk about your, you know, your business on whatever platform it is that they're watching. But yeah,
we've got someone that's watching already that says, and we can't see their name.
No,
it's unfortunate, but you do let us know who you are. But they love doing videos. That's great. I mean,
well, that's good. It's good to hear that there are some people that love doing videos. Clearly, you love doing videos because you're here doing this.
Yeah,
I do it all day. I do it all day long. I don't.
Yeah.
I really have no fear of doing video whatsoever. But Steve, you weren't quite so sure when you first started.
No, I think we started this a few months into lockdown, and I have to say I was a little bit apprehensive having not done it. But now it just feels like a conversation, and you almost forget the fact that, and I guess that's probably one of the things you're going to say, Amy, is the main tips you would give someone is imagine you're just involved in a conversation with a mate down the pub.
Do you know what? It makes such a difference. Because doing this, what you're doing now, you know, it is a conversation, and so it's a lot easier. But when you're doing a pre-recorded video and it's just you, and you know, you've got to talk to the camera, it's a different ball game entirely. And I've seen people that are great doing live talks on stage, or they're great at doing this, and then they get to that where they've got to talk to a lens, and all of a sudden they go to pieces because it's just completely different. And so I'm a big advocate of interview style filming, which is actually what, you know, certainly with LinkedIn, is what I really recommend, and what I'm doing a lot of at the moment. Actually, it's something which I think makes video an option for people that wouldn't have done it otherwise.
Yeah,
and when you're filming that, Amy, does that then tend to be not necessarily someone looking down the camera, but more looking at an interview sort of side on, so that the person doesn't feel as intimidated?
Giving us a great demonstration. Maybe not quite that side on, but yeah, no, they wouldn't be looking at the camera. That's exactly it. They would be. I've got my lovely colleague Jess, who would be sat there, and they would be talking to Jess while I'm doing all the technical stuff and filming and getting all the audio and everything like that. So it's a very, very different experience. So
you normally film from like a couple of angles, don't you? And then
use two cameras. Yeah, exactly. So what that means is that, you know, editing suddenly becomes really easy. It means that if people don't get their words quite right, or if they say something and then they think, oh, I really wanted to say that, actually I want to go back and put that in, that's really easy to do. And it also makes it more visually interesting as well for the viewer. So yeah
I've done both. I've done the corporate video as well, where I've been, you know, filmed looking at camera. I think the hardest thing about that for me is when your boss is there watching. It's not actually doing it in front of a film crew who actually wouldn't know whether you're lying or not. You could be making the whole thing up. Oh yeah, well the market in the last 12 months has seen an exponential growth rate, you know, in terms of carrots. But you know, that bit you could just be absolutely bullying it, right? But your boss is there; he knows exactly what's coming out. Yeah, he knows whether that's true or not. There you go. Oh, thank you. We've had 100%. Thank you, Claudette. It was Claudette from the Joke Shop. Well, I would hope that someone from a Joke Shop website would be pretty good on video. Actually,
I'm thinking there could be some really, really entertaining videos going on there. Actually, to be honest, I'd like to see those videos.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Oh, look at this! Look.
And Amy, just out of interest, where have you seen the biggest sort of increase in demand? Has there been sort of a change of the sort of people approaching you for video content sort of post beginning of COVID? Have you noticed a marked difference in who you dealt with before March last year and who you're dealing with now, or is it settled down again?
I don't think so. I mean, things did, you know, because ultimately what I do is in person, right? So things, excuse me, things did slow down a lot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say well, came to a grinding halt during complete lockdown, but I wouldn't say that the type of client has changed. I think what has changed, interesting, and I guess it's kind of obvious that this would happen, is that because people are now so used to this, you know, video calls, everyone's suddenly living on Zoom or Teams or whatever. And during that period where we weren't able to go out and film in person, people were using much lower quality video, you know, that's recorded on Team or Zooms. And so what we've seen is people maybe accepting that lower quality, but I'm seeing that that's starting to change. And what I would say with regards to that is that, you know, if you have been using lots of Zoom recordings and things, that it's good to mix it up. I'm not saying don't use them, because it's a great tool. You know, it's a fantastic tool, and it means that you can use video of people all over the world without flying people like me around the world. But yeah, it's I would say to mix it up a bit. You know,
I think it depends on what you're trying to achieve with that video, doesn't it?
Absolutely, of course, yeah, of course. And I think, you know, a big thing that's come out the last couple of years is people are human. We all have a house. We all have, you know, we've all seen a video with kids and dogs and going to the toilet and stuff, you know, but where they've left their audio on. But yeah, so we all know we're human. People are a lot more chilled out about that. They know that we're just real people. But yeah, it's like, it is very much down to what you want to get across with video. And, you know, sometimes we do want to get across that fact that actually we're just normal. But then other times you do have to get across the fact that you're a professional and you know what you're doing. You're investing money in your business and you know, whatever. So.
And I guess whilst it's made, sorry, I was going to say, Graham, whilst I guess, Amy, whilst it's opened up people to use more Zoom and things and realize they can do some stuff themselves, actually, hopefully for yourself, the benefit from that is that actually it's widened the interest in video content. So although there may be people using their own sort of freebie stuff that they've got themselves, actually it might hopefully draw more in for yourselves, that the concept of video content is more important. So I guess whilst you might lose a little bit of work in one way, hopefully that will be more than replaced with extra demand in video content as a general piece.
Do you know, and I think people have, I think you're absolutely right. I think people have realized, it has made people realize that. And I have had clients say to me that you know, that it's been a recent thing that they've realized how important video is in a marketing strategy and how powerful it is, really. Especially, you know, the talking heads, you know, the talking to camera, because we've realized how much people want to see faces. You know, nobody's satisfied with a phone call now. It's got to be video. It's like, because we've realized how much more we connect with that person. You know, it just, the whole conversation, all the information embeds so much better in us. And we just feel much more connected to whoever it is that we're speaking to. And we can make that decision as to whether we want to work with them or whether we like them or whether we want to speak to them again like that, you know, much more so than with a phone conversation. And so the same applies to, you know, when you're posting content on the social media. If you're putting a face to those words, your audience is, you know, they're able to build that. I always say it's a fast track to know, like, and trust. You know, kind of one video might be worth 5 written posts. No, I'm not saying written copy. I'm not saying written copy doesn't have its place, because it absolutely does, of course. But I do think throwing in the odd video really, really puts you on the fast track to connecting with your customers, or giving them the chance to say, actually, no, don't want to work with you.
And we as a business do that, because although, you know, we have a website and there's a lot of leaflets around and information on our product, actually, and Graham's seen some of these, and it might, you know, be interesting for your thoughts of it and it later on, but we've got 3 or 4 sort of videos, and we have an actor in the Netherlands, a Dutch actor, who loves to take part in our videos. So he appears in all the videos. So we've just done one recently talking about a monitor arm product, and we've done other ones around keyboards, but it's the same actor. So you're right, you know, the main crux of our product you'll find off the website in terms of the product specification and what does it look like, but bringing it to life and putting it in a real place is done by having that video content, you know, almost as an additional layer above what you'd expect from a website.
Yeah, I think the thing is that contextually there are always things that where video needs to be immediate, and that's where the poorer quality can be okay. I mean, we've seen it on the news over this period where, you know, ministers have been at home or whatever, and rather than bring them into a studio, which they would have done in the past, they would have brought them into and actually it would have just been a cupboard somewhere in some BBC building, because I used to work for the BBC for a while, but it would be literally be a cupboard and they'd stuff them in there, but it'd be well lit. Now they would have them from home and they would use things like Zoom or whatever, and they would bring them into the news because they need a statement now, and that's okay, and we've all come to accept that in terms of quality. But you know, when it's things like, as you say, showing off your product, you know, it's one thing to just try and hold it up on the screen and go, well, yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. You know, can you really see the quality of that on this grainy bit of video? That doesn't cut the mustard. So there are times when a quality production, not just in terms of the quality of how you can show the product, but you know, developing a proper storyline, and the only way that you can do that with clever cuts and a clever script, etc., that needs someone to put some creative behind it. And you won't get that. You won't get that, honestly, ever. Not in the day. Thanks for everyone. Yes, I have got, yes, Odessa. Yes, I have got my COVID sticker band on from yesterday. Well, look, now that my COVID status check has told me that I'm okay COVID-wise, I intend to keep this on forever. And I can just walk into any event with that, hopefully.
What is that? Some sort of what is that? I've not seen the purple band before. What is that?
Look, no, the purple band. I went to an event yesterday, and they COVID status check you before you go in.
So were there different colours? Sorry. Well, that was just one. You're okay.
I'm okay. Yeah, because I'm purple. Okay. Yeah.
So if you weren't okay,
you wouldn't get one if you weren't okay. You'd be. There's the door.
I'm just starting to run this through my head here. I've got this sort of, you know, useless waste of plastic going through my head here. But if you got in, you had one on. If you didn't, you got turned away. So therefore, if you got in, why did you need one? Because surely you were therefore in.
Well, I guess because you've been through that checkpoint,
right?
And because you might come back out from that checkpoint, it shows that you've been through that checkpoint. You've been checked, so therefore you can come in and out from that checkpoint.
So basically, just go onto Amazon and buy a purple wristband if you're ever in doubt of getting in somewhere, and just.
Well, it might, but the next day it might be a different colour. You see.
Of course, Well, right. Multicolored packs are available and all that.
So yeah, if anyone didn't see it, Philippa, thank you for that. Great tips. Do all of your own video production. Love to have a crew. Everyone would love to have a crew. I think there are always times when, as we've just been saying, when you do need some professional help. You do actually need to have additional people. Look, my son's at university studying film. When you actually see how a film is made as well, you suddenly realise how many people need to be involved in order to get it to be decent. You can't just put up a load of cameras and go. Didn't we
do it one of these sessions, Graham, where they were videoing something in London and we saw the crew that were there, and I can't remember who it was and what it was all about, but I had visions of a street in North London sort of being blocked off, and there were some of the people we were interviewing were sort of live from the set, and there was just hundreds of people there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It gets expensive as well, though, doesn't it? And that's the other thing. It wouldn't necessarily be cost effective for you to buy all of the kit to do it. I mean,
no, it definitely wouldn't. You need to be doing it on a fairly regular basis.
Tell me about it. Yeah, my son's just upgraded his camera again, Amy. Yeah.
How often does he do that?
Well, it's
Too
been
often.
fairly regular. It's been fairly regularly, but now this is now it for a while because he. Okay, here's a little story. Then he recently won an award from Netflix.
Wow, amazing.
Okay, so he went to a Netflix red carpet thing in Bath, and then they said to him, "Look, actually, what you want to do is dump all of your kit, and you need to get a Netflix camera." So,
Right, okay. What's he gone for?
something expensive. All I know is he sold all of his other kit. I think he got a discount from because he's a student and at Netflix.
Yeah.
Just here to heckle. Yes, thanks. There we go. Look at that.
So
Just
sorry,
to heck-
what's a Netflix camera?
It's a camera that's Netflix specification.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just
okay.
approved by Netflix.
It's
Oh, right,
approved by
okay.
Netflix. I think it should have been about. I think it should have been about £6,000 or something. But it was 4.5, something like that.
Yeah.
There you go. Exactly, Steve. That's why you wouldn't want to be doing this, on the odd occasion at home, would you?
No.
Yeah. What's your favourite camera, Amy?
Well, I've switched actually. I use mirrorless, and I use Lumix. I've switched from Canon to Lumix.
Right, there you go.
So yeah, it's which I get on really well with actually. And I know that I don't think my camera is Netflix approved, which is fine because I don't really have any desires to be
on Netflix.
No,
clearly my son does.
really. But I know that I think it's the next one up from was it the replacement? I think it was the sort of latest upgrade from mine is Netflix approved. Yeah.
There you are. There's mine, Amy. I actually have got a
Oh,
Canon.
you've got Canon. Yeah. Canon are great.
And the only reason I've got that is because that was my son's first one, and then he sold it to me because
clever, like his style.
Because he's clever like that. Yeah, he's clever like that.
But hang on, he sold it to you, but did you not buy it in the first place?
Oh yeah, and then
I'm just giving it back to you.
Yeah.
So I've paid for that twice, and then he bought a Lumix, and then he's upgraded since, and he's got a whole load of Russian lenses as well.
Russian lenses.
Russian lenses, yeah. Russian
Nice.
about here, there, and everywhere they are. Right. So, well, what have we? How's the finger, Steve? We just need to quickly check on that. Yeah, that's still there.
It's still there.
There we go.
Another week in this splint, and then physiotherapy. So they said, "Are you going to get an appointment with a physiotherapist?" Thought, yeah, that's fine. Opened the letter. I've got New Year's Eve at 1:00 in the afternoon. What a lovely time to go and see a physiotherapist is New Year's. Oh, and it's a telephone physiotherapy session as well, which I still can't get my head round as to, not video call, no video, telephone, old school.
Well, you just better watch and see how quickly the alcohol disappears into the drawer before you go in. Anyway, so Amy, you look stunning.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say.
Apparently, I've been told, what am I wearing? Of course, I've got a Christmas jumper on already because it's it's nearly there. There is an excuse. My wife's taken the kids to a winter wonderland today already. So there we go.
Oh, nice.
So I thought I'd join in. There we go. Right. So Amy, we're here to play the game. Thank you very much for telling us all about what you do. But now it's time for the game. Stephen is going to wear his very famous by now.
Is it? Oh, hang on. Is it? No,
Cutton Schofield scarf.
Hang on.
So let me just explain how this game works for any of you who haven't seen the game before. Basically, Stephen wears a scarf. I hold up an object which is something to do with ergonomics, and Stephen then has to guess. And he's going to guess by asking Amy, who probably has Scooby-Doo's what this is, questions, and you can answer yes or no to those questions, Amy. All right.
So do I need to?
And in the end, we'll either retire and go down the pub, or Stephen will guess. Either way, that becomes the end of the game.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Can you not see, Stephen?
I cannot see. No.
No. Okay. No, I asked.
I'm hardly going to cheat for this game, am I? I mean, if it was worth money, I'd cheat.
Right. Now, on this occasion, because this would be quite heavy, or it would be quite large, and also because I haven't physically got one here,
Okay.
right, I'm just going to hold up the brochure for said product,
Okay.
and you have to guess from the brochure. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so there's the brochure.
I-
Can you see that, Amy?
Not very well.
All right.
Oh, right. Okay, got it. Right, yeah.
Got it. Okay, so I'm holding that there for Amy.
Yeah.
Hopefully, people can see that at home as well. Okay, Stephen, you can have a first guess.
Okay, Amy, would you or would a person sit on this item?
Oh, well, am I only allowed to say yes or no?
Well,
Or
yeah, go on, give him.
Because
give him a bit.
it's not sitting on it.
would you
No.
lie on this item?
No.
Okay. It's not sitting on it.
Well,
Okay.
it depends if you don't tell the truth.
Well, yes. Is it an item of furniture?
Oh gosh, that's no.
Yes, that's a question, isn't it? Yeah.
No, I wouldn't call it furniture. No.
Okay. Is it made of metal?
No.
You'd hope not, wouldn't you?
Could you wear it?
No. Definite no.
You wouldn't wear it.
Well, I
Okay.
don't know. Your pie.
Oh, you see, Amy answers, Graham, and then you say you might, and that completely throws the next question. Okay. Would you use your hands with it?
No.
Would you use your feet with it?
No.
Would you use your head with it?
No.
Ooh.
Well, I guess your head would be. I can't see. Is your head? No, your head's not going to be on it. I don't think. No.
Okay. Is it anything to do? Would you use it with your car?
Yes.
Okay. Does it attach onto your car or go inside your car?
Inside.
He's doing well, isn't he? He's
And
doing well now.
kind of
Yes.
a bit of both.
Graham, you've picked up this brochure from the OT show yesterday, haven't you? Graham?
Yes, Stephen.
You've picked up the brochure from the OT show yesterday, haven't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that means yes. Is this product made by Ergo Chair by any chance?
Yes.
Is it the new Ergo Chair back support for drivers by any chance?
It certainly is.
Hey! There you go. There's the new
Ergo
brochure.
driver.
Look at that. Metal.
I could
Can you
probably do
imagine?
one of those.
Can you imagine that? A 300-mile drive with that metal metal. It looks. I mean, this is the new product that you've been the guys at Ergo Chair and you've been banging on about for a while, Graham. It's a really interesting product. Do you do much driving, Amy?
I do a lot of short journeys, which unfortunately I know is the most unenvironmentally friendly way to drive a car. But yeah, I'm in the car fairly often.
Mm.
Yeah, so this is a new product they've developed. What they've done here is a lot of back cushions for cars typically have just sat in one area of the back, and the way that they've normally attached to the car seat as well is sort of round the seat. And so quite typically what you tend to find is that you put this cushion in, maybe under region or whatever, and then you spend all day trying to get it back where you actually want it again, because it's moving all over the place. So the idea of this is that it typically hugs the back of the seat, and they've taken a lot of vehicle specs in order to get sort of a 90% average in terms of fit. It really is very thin as an overall. It doesn't actually push. That's the other thing. A lot of car seat cushions, once you put them in, they then push your bum forward on the seat, and then that causes more problems. Whereas this actually just hugs into the seat. And then the trick is here that the front of this opens up, and you put inside it the different adjustments. So if you want lumbar support, you put the lumbar support exactly where you want it, or if you want thoracic support higher up in the spine, you put that in where you want it. So it comes with a kit of air cells that you can put exactly where you want into there. Then you close it back up, and once they're in and they're in the right place for you, it's not going to move, because it actually straps around the seat through up and around the back of the seat as well. So quite something. Yeah, developed with a big motoring organisation in collaboration with the RAC. It even says that on the front there. So
I might have to take a look at that online. I have lower back issues, you see, so probably you guys could give me lots of recommendations.
Well, yeah. So alongside an adjustment, which could actually give you the proper support that you need in the car, and obviously the great thing about that as well is you can move it from car to car, etc., quite easily. The best thing to do is make sure you get out and walk, but you're not doing long distances.
In the car, not massively. Mostly, no. I mean, the longest would be sort of like London. So yeah, hour, something like that.
Okay.
But lots of, I have 2 daughters. Need I say more?
Yeah.
Dancing, swimming,
mum cabs.
And presumably, curious to know the retail price. Head over to ergochair.com and ask them. They will certainly let you know. It's not expensive. But in terms of what you do, I guess a lot of it's also around carrying and lifting.
Yeah, do you know? And about how long ago? 6 months to 9 months ago, I actually started. I joined a local boot camp.
Okay.
Because I thought, I'm not getting any younger. I need to make sure that I can still carry all these bags and stuff around. And so I did join a local boot camp to build up my strength, which has worked a treat, actually. Though I've not been for 6 weeks because I had COVID and I got the old fatigue thing going on. And you know what? I've noticed a massive difference with my back, I guess, because there's a lot of core involved. Because I haven't been doing that core work. I have noticed that my back's not bad, but I've just noticed the odd little, twinge or whatever, which I haven't had since going to boot camp. So that's interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, anyone that's doing a job where they're lifting, carrying, setting up equipment or whatever, really could do with at least a lesson in manual handling.
Yeah.
At least a little lesson in manual handling. There's some organisations that will provide some training on that online. But
if I could plug someone, Graham, there, a guy who I've done some work with recently is called Harold Floyd, who you'll find on LinkedIn. He works at a company called Elite Force Safety. So we've done some work with them recently, and he's actually he did a very nice video review of one of our products, but just on the back
of that this morning.
Did you see? Yeah. I think his organisation are a lot of ex-services, ex-army guys, and he does a lot of actually ties in nicely. He does a lot of video content of showing him on site doing training. I've seen him at sort of the airports, at goods inwards in warehouses, talking around the whole manual handling piece and how to lift and carry and things correctly. So Harold Floyd, I would recommend it. Graham, I'll put his details in the comments if that's okay. I'll put his LinkedIn connection in there.
Yeah, definitely. When I was used to do driving assessments for people, one of the things that I covered was how people lifted and carried things out from the car. Whether their car was suitable for that as well, because not all cars are. Some people buy these cars where the way that stuff goes into the boot means you've got to drop and carry stuff in and out of a boot, where really, if you've got anything that's heavy, you want something that lowers at sort of midriff height, so you're literally just putting your arms out and carrying it to you, so you're not constantly sort of leaning over and bending and twisting to get stuff in and out of the car. So that's quite important, and just taking those breaks as well. And even when you take a break from driving, You know, it's not just a case of getting out the car and going, oh yeah, oh my back hurts. Then you know, service. When I used to do a lot of miles, service stations were great. But what I used to do, here's a great tip for anyone doing long miles. At service stations, I used to park at one side of the service station, and you know it's normally on two sides of the road.
Yeah.
And quite often there'd be a bridge. I'd always go and have a cup of coffee at the other side.
Other side, yeah.
Yeah. So that you make sure you actually get out, do all of the steps up, go across, all of the steps down, cup of coffee, all the steps up, all the steps, because doing those steps actually really helps. Simple little things. Amy, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Hope you've learned something. We've learned something about video, which is good. If you know, if people are looking for professional video, go and talk to Amy about what it is that she does. That would be
absolutely. It's especially video for LinkedIn at the moment. I'm very much focusing on video for LinkedIn right now. So
absolutely. Well, I'm sure lots of people absolutely need that. Amy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Amy.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, button's not working. I can't remove her at the moment.
Am I here for the rest of the day?
Looks like
absolutely. It. Yeah. Maybe that will change in a minute. Hold on, let's try this. Hold on. No, that's not working at all. You might be absolutely stuck. Yeah. Amy, you should be able to remove yourself.
Right, I think it says leave studio. Does it?
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Here, I'm going to click this. Thank you.
Bye, Amy.
Bye.
Bye. We've never had anyone stuck in the show.
I know, software. It's just absolutely stuck.
Yeah.
Don't know. There we go. Don't know why that's happened. Anyway, there we go. So that was interesting.
That was very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Good guess, sir. Good guess. Well done.
Well, I'm not saying you were obvious, Graham, but there was every chance the Ergo driver was going to get coming at some stage. It was just when it was going to happen.
Well, you did ask me as well to because I know we've got some other subjects that we want to bring up today. Let's just tell people what else we still want to talk about. We do want to talk about very quickly some of the changes in guidelines to HSE and FIRA. That would be good.
Yes.
You feel like you get stuck on the show. Of course you do, Odessa. But I did want to just bring up a really interesting product that I found at the OT show yesterday.
Okay.
So I'm gonna show you this, and again a little bit of a game, but let's see if you can guess what it is.
Is it a fingerless glove?
Yeah.
Okay.
You will really love this.
It looks like a winter fingerless glove. It looks like a go on then. What is it?
Okay. So when I show you the name, maybe you can guess what it is.
Bright sign.
Right.
Is it a glove that illuminates? Oh, hang on.
Yeah. Look at this bit. Guess, Stephen. Guess.
Bright sign. Luminous gloves. They light up in the dark. Oh, hang on a second. Bright. Well, they used at airports.
Sorry, used at airports.
I've got these visions of these people who work sort of on the landing strip, sort of, so they were visible as to where they were.
No. Who? It's brilliant. I like that. Okay, so who else uses sign? Think Mr. Tumble.
Mr. Tumble.
Mr. Tumble.
I haven't watched that for years. Justin Fletcher or something. Just tell me.
Right.
Just tell me.
Okay. Yes. Susan's got it. Susan's
that was just too obvious, wasn't it? It was right under my nose and I missed it. So okay, so
this is amazing.
Right.
Absolutely amazing. So it comes in different sizes and it has to be tight to the hand.
Right.
For the wearer. but anybody that uses sign language, right, can use this glove. Yeah, and what it does is it takes their signing that they're doing and transmits it using an app.
Oh, no
Right.
way.
Yeah, to an Alexa, etc., or to a wireless speaker, right, and it turns it into voice.
Oh, get away.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
That's fantastic.
Is that not fantastic?
And also, I mean, the whole signing sort of community, especially with Rose doing so well on Strictly Come Dancing at the moment, it's just sort of it's really raised the whole profile of that
Yeah,
form of communication, hasn't it?
yeah. How cool is that? And I also asked her,
Okay.
the lady that was there.
Did she do a demo for you?
Yeah,
Did she demo the
yeah,
product?
yeah,
And was
yeah.
she herself a sign language as her main sort of form of communication, or?
It wasn't her main. It wasn't her main form of communication. She wasn't deaf, but she spoke fluent sign language.
Okay.
and it can deliver it in different languages as well.
Oh, God.
Right, so that's pretty awesome. But the other thing about it is that the output from that didn't just have to be voice, so it can also, because obviously it can generate that as text as well. So
Wow.
now you're getting into a whole new thing. In fact, I can see some really clever, very clever applications here. I wonder whether she's even thought about combining this. You know, when people sign at an event,
Yeah.
right? You wouldn't necessarily then have to have someone reading what the signer was saying and then typing that into a system for that to display in terms of caption on the thing, because it could actually just send what someone's signing as text to the screen.
Wow. That is
Wow,
really
wow,
impressive.
wow, 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 wow. Yeah.
Well, hey, this is the show for Wow, isn't it?
Absolutely. That is true wow stuff. And the whole thing was, as Odessa just said, was her side project at university.
Great. That's amazing.
Right.
And I mean, is it something that's sort of commercially available, or is she not at that point yet? Was it just
No,
the prototype
it is
work?
now. No,
It is
now commercially available.
Fabulous.
So there we go. Just a little bit of spec on what it does. Teach Bright Sign your signs, whatever library you use. Choose from over 30 languages with 180 voice options. Translate your signs instantly into speech, even when offline. And transcribe incoming speech into text in real time on your device.
Get her on the show.
That
said Odessa. But
yeah,
yes.
Yeah. When
Wow.
you go to these things and you meet people like that, you just think, yeah, that's it. I mean, sometimes you go to shows, and a lot of the people you see, you think, oh, that's the same old, same old. I've kind of seen it before, but that was a wow moment for me.
A mind
yesterday.
blower.
That was a mind blower. Available in Canada, says Susan. Who knows? Who knows?
I don't see why not.
Again,
do you?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Again, maybe we'll put some details in.
I've seen that Odessa's put a LinkedIn profile. Is that the lady's name? Hadil? Is that the lady who developed the product?
I don't know. I will check on that. I will check on that afterwards. So, tell us about your news story today.
Well, I mean, it's I sort of feel a bit of a fraud, really, but it was something I picked up sort of late yesterday, mid yesterday.
I feel a fraud.
Yeah, I feel a fraud. But I think Guy Osman, well known within our field, highlighted a couple of very interesting articles, and one of them in particular was a link to the HSE website, where they have updated their rules around DSE assessments and home workers, but also hybrid workers as well. And this is something that we've been talking about for a long time. Obviously, measures were very much considered temporary when we were sort of in the real deep throes of COVID. But obviously, as people are sort of coming out of that, and I say coming out when we've got this new South African variant or Southern African variant that's been spoken about, but as people are sort of getting back to what they're going to do and putting plans in place, it's really interesting that the rules have been updated, which, having sort of looked at the link that Guy put, looking at the post, I should say, on LinkedIn, the sort of the whole lot of the ergonomic community was sort of saying about time, great news, because it just rubber stamps what we've been saying to people, doesn't it? It just, because I think the thing before was the rules were a little bit woolly and they were temporary. Now it's sort of a bit more permanent. So Graham, if you want to just sort of comment on that, what I'll do is I'll just get the link to the HSE website, to this specific piece, and I'll put it in the comments for this show, because I think that would be really useful for people just to get instant access to these new updated regulations that have come out from the HSE.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So basically what we've been saying all the way along is that what we really needed here was not just sort of a nod to the fact that you might, if people were working from home, want to, if you like, assess them and take into consideration their home as a part of their working environment. But really, people should be supported properly and assessed properly wherever it is that they are working for you.
Yeah. Graham, the first line, I'm just sort of looking at it now, is that the health and safety regulations can apply to workers who work at home on a permanent or long-term basis, routinely split their time between their workplace and home, sometimes called hybrid working. That's the sort of the official wording, the first two words you see when you go to that link, which is sort of fabulous, really, that's been clarified and in effect just put in writing as to these people are now covered and these people need to be considered from the whole assessment piece.
But the really interesting part of that as well is the fact that if HSE are actually accepting and giving regulation to this term hybrid, then businesses, that is telling you that this is not a temporary measure. This is not going away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because again, there's been a lot of businesses that have kind of fault this whole premise and have said, well, yeah, but hybrid working or these people working from home and partly in the office, this is just something that it's temporary. It's not going to continue, but we all know that it has. I've spoken to I spoke yesterday to one university at the OT show who categorically agreed that hybrid working is continuing for them. I've got my lecturer friend who lives just down the road from me. I spoke to him at the weekend as he was coppicing his tree outside his house, and again he said to me he's one day a week lecturing on site. The rest of the time he's lecturing from his house just down the road.
Wow.
So that is continuing. It's continuing through education. It's continuing through businesses. People are continuing to work sometimes from the office, sometimes not. But there are the exceptions. Of course, there's some people that have gone back to the office full time, and that may be something that works for people. But it's certainly, and it seems to be a case when I talk to recruiters as well, that actually people are beginning to, really beginning to look for hybrid jobs as well. They actually, it's something that they're specifically looking for, is that kind of mix between the office and home. Because our lives have become entrenched in that now. So
and also with hybrid as well is not just necessarily that one place of work they may have gone to before. People who maybe were driving or traveling further to a location, the hybrid piece allows them to maybe work at a satellite office that may be closer to home. So it's that variation, isn't it? Not necessarily, mainly it will be between home and the office, but also it's the ability to work across multiple sites within your business. So not necessarily going to that one designated office, but able to drop in at other locations as well to create that sort of hybrid situation.
Yeah. Well, I want to get another week, and I will get him on.
Mm.
I will get him on, but I do want to get Sam Turney on. I mention him now, but I had a nice chat with him the other day. I had to leave very, very quickly in the middle of our conversation because unfortunately I had to go and pick my son up from school.
Okay.
That's not a conversation for this show, but we were having a chat about the kind of projects that he was getting involved with his company, and certainly he mentioned of the fact that a lot of businesses are now converting office space into more collaborative, open type spaces that are, not rows and rows of desks. Yes, Sam is awesome. He really is. As are lots of other people in the world. Lots of wow people out there. Is there a story we want to end on this week?
Well, I was going to sort of throw it over to you really, and a bit more of your experiences with the OT show, because we've touched on it with some of the products you've seen, but I know that you very much had gone from pre-pandemic to being out and about all the time, Graham, and then very much a home bird, as it were. I'm interested in your sort of experience of I know you've done a few gigs recently, but getting back out into the sort of the corporate world of exhibitions and conferences. What was your overall impression, feeling, anxieties, concerns? How did you find the whole piece?
No real anxieties at all, to be honest. I think once you just get back out, I think people need to just step over that line and do things if they haven't already done that, because I think the fear of what things might be like is probably worse than the reality of what it is going to be like. As I said, yesterday, I think they had a very good procedure in terms of safely getting people into the event. From my experience, not just of that event yesterday, but I've suddenly gone out to later things recently. The gigs that I've been to in London recently, and other things that I've been to, most things now are not running at full capacity, and by that I mean I've not been to an event which has been rammed.
Okay.
At all. Have you?
No, I mean I did a show, health and safety show at the NEC, so possibly in a similar hall to where you were, and no, it didn't feel rammed at all, to be honest. It did feel as if numbers had been consciously limited.
Yeah.
And what did you feel yesterday? Have you done this show before, Graham? Have you
No,
got something
I haven't
to
done it.
compare
I
it
haven't
against?
done it. No, I haven't done it before. But I mean, my feeling is that the part of it will be naturally reduced in terms of numbers by the fact that some people just don't want to venture out at the moment. But I also get the feeling that because of the control factors and the in place for events, that most things are where you go into bigger public spaces, there's a good amount of space. So if you want to stay away from people, you can pretty much stay away from people. The trains are an interesting one. I went up by train.
Okay.
That's so quiet. I mean, actually on the train up, I don't know whether I should say this live on there, but I was allowed to stay on the same train. I actually had one of those tickets where I was meant to get off the train and then get back on another train, but the train conductor said, just stay on the train. Because there's just the volume of traffic on the, if you like, on the train was just not there. I think there were probably about 4 or 5 people in our carriage.
I think I'd have said this on the show, whether I said it to you privately, but a couple of weeks ago went from Birmingham to Edinburgh, which is a 4-hour train journey, and I was the only person in the carriage for the whole journey there. There was no one else in that carriage except for me.
Dessa
Very
said her
strange.
train was heaving on the way home. The train that I took on the way home from Bristol from Bristol Temple Meads, it was busier,
Right.
but you know, compared with my days of going into London and standing like that, you know, with people there
Yeah.
up in your face and not being able to breathe, you know, I don't think we're going to see that for a long
No.
time on trains.
No. I don't think people will accept it anymore, Graham, as a way of travelling.
Yeah. That's part and parcel of it as well, isn't it?
Mm.
You know,
Why did we accept that before? It's just not a humane way of travelling. But you're saying Odessa was saying the train was busy on the. She goes back to Milton Keynes, doesn't she? So that's usually quite a busy route.
Yeah, but you know, in terms of being packed, you know, you're right. I don't think we'll see that anymore.
No.
I don't think we'll see, you know, like those videos you see of people in China getting onto trains where they're kicking them and stuff like that. I've actually been on the train like that in this country,
Right.
with people trying to get in at Wimbledon, Southwest train, people trying to get in at Wimbledon on the way back, because it was the last train, because there was a train cancelled, and if people didn't get on that train, that was going to be it. And when
Were you
did get
doing
on
the
train,
kicking or being kicked?
I was being kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got myself near the front, but yeah, I was being kicked. But yeah, it was absolutely people, you know,
Yeah.
and everybody, if they've been to London at some point, has probably stood on a tube train where it's
Yeah.
been absolutely rammed.
Yeah. Absolutely.
To the point
Yeah.
where you're in the doorway like that with your head bent over. You know, I hope we get to see the end of that.
Yeah.
For good.
Absolutely.
That's definitely it. It's been great. It's been another good show. We thanks to everybody that's watched today. Thanks for everyone that's contributed.
All the links are in the comments. I know you've put some in, and I've put some in Odessa. They're all in there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm being told that I'm lying now by Odessa. I don't know what that's about.
Okay.
I don't think I've lied about anything, have I?
No.
Oh,
Are you lying there or not?
I might be.
Yeah.
From sunny Somerset, where the sun has now just come out. And what's it like there, Stephen?
Dark. I was going to say, if you can see, my camera has sort of almost put some false light on. It's gone that dark. It is pitch black, and we're forecasting snow and sleet at the weekend for the sunny Midlands, or the not so sunny Midlands.
Wow, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed this. Wow. We'll see you again next week for much of the same. But thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Bye.